lineups. Pitt Panthers coming in at 16-1 overall. 5-1 in conference play. And the back line for Marquette, McNeil, another of those standout freshmen, Stoney, Gerald McNeil. He is a top defender and scores over 11 points a game. Gets almost 4.5 rebounds a game. So he's another big contributor as a freshman.
Yeah, it's nice to see that for Coach Crean, and his youth and the future of Marquette is bright.
You see Tom Crean in his 7th season. He coached here 1 year, 95. He was an assistant coach for 1 season at Pitt. In fact, his wife went to the University of Pittsburgh, and Jamie Dixon, look at his numbers as a head coach at Pitt. Over 81% wins, 67-15. And particularly good in the Big East. He is 23-4 at home in Big East play. As we look at the officials now, Tim Higgins, Glenn Mayborg, and Jamie Lucky. Pitt wearing the home white uniforms, and we're ready to go. Ball tipped into the backcourt, and here is Krauser giving it to Ronald Ramon, and Pitt sets its offense.
A little different role for Ronald Ramon this year. Last year playing the 2-guard spot. This year he's more at the point guard to let Krauser give him some freedom at that 2.
Quick turnover. Now they get the ball down low. A fight for it. Guzman Barrow kicks it underneath. Barrow gets it back down low and lays it up and in. And good defense by Marquette leads to the first 2 points of the game.
Barrow in the right place at the right time. Don really raw. Hasn't played basketball that long, but getting the most out of his raw talent.
Kendall feeds to Grote. Can't get the rebound. But Barrow does. And now the fast-paced Marquette backline. A dish down low. Dominique James, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Pitt. Look at Pitt's Joe Chapman coming in the game. Inbounds play. Good defense by Pitt makes it tough. They have Kendall on the sharpshooter. Big Steve Novak. Here is Dominique James. Looks an open look from about 13 feet out, and he drops it. And Marquette's off to a quick 4-0 lead.
Good recognition by Barrow. He didn't have anywhere to go, and Dominique James was right there. Nice little mid-range jump shot. You love to see guards shooting that, making that shot. Nowadays, the game's all about dunking and shooting 3-pointers.
Well, when we talked, Donnie, with the head coach Tom Crean of Marquette, he said the #1 objective defensively for his team is to keep Pitt from penetrating the lane. So they're as good as anybody in the country at driving the lane and then dishing off. Particularly Krauser, and Ramon does it also.
It's interesting when they say we want to keep guys out of the lane. That's exactly what they're trying to do offensively.
Kick out, and now is DeGroat. Got clock down to 2. DeGroat's rejected inside, and the Marquette Golden Eagles take over the ball. Coming up quickly, here's McNeil. Very fast freshman point. Gets it out to Novak, who's had very limited touches. That's about his 2nd of the game.
I don't think you got to worry about Novak, Don. He will get his touches, and this building will know.
Marquette is 2 of 2 shooting in this game. Not quite enough on James' shot. Rebound comes down to the big center, Aaron Gray, who leads the Big East in rebounding. Krauser always looking to attack the goal, goes back outside. Here is Krauser coming off that 32-point game on Monday night of the win over Syracuse, rebounded by the freshman guard McNeil. Lead to Barrow. Can't get it to go inside, so Marquette down here very obviously looking to push the ball up when they can. Ramon shoots.
One thing Coach Crean talked about before the game, we want to push it right down their throat. Keep the pressure on their guards and their big men in the post.
Here's Novak. They're going to switch defenders on him. Their best big defender for Pitt is Levon Kendall, the 6'9 junior from Vancouver, Canada. And there is Novak, who these teams played in March of 2003 in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Marquette won the game, went on to the Final Four with Dwayne Wade leading the way in the backcourt.
There you see struggling early Pittsburgh, but getting good looks at the basket.
Chapman shot, rims out. Pitt coming down court with the ball. Krauser always looking to penetrate. Nice kick out for the open three, but Pitt still can't hit. Panthers cold on their home floor. Over 3 minutes gone by. Novak. Jamie Dixon talked about how more of a complete player he was than 2 years ago. He was a catch and shoot guy 2 years ago. Now he's a complete big man.
There you see Barrow down with the layup. Again, keeping the pressure on Kendall and Bray inside. And again, Barrow's raw, but he has the ability to get to the basket from about 10, 12 feet out.
Yeah, he's got a nice smooth inside game, LeVon Kendall. A held ball. And the possession arrow goes over to Marquette. So the Golden Eagles with an early 6-0 lead take over the ball. Marquette coming in 15-5 on the year. 5-2 in the Big East. 5 teams, as you know, from Conference USA came to the Big East this year, and Marquette's the only one with a winning record in conference play. Here's James, defended by Ramon. Novak still without a look, still without a shot. McNeil pulls up, gets a roll, and Marquette, an underdog on the road, out to a quick 8-0 lead.
We talk about Jarrell McNeil's ability to guard his man and to be a great position defender, but you can't forget that he can get into the lane and penetrate, as we just saw there.
You know, Donnie, the only loss for Pittsburgh was last week against St. John's at Madison Square Garden, and the Pitt Panthers fell behind 14-0 in that game. Did come back to take a lead, and now Krauser gets the bounce. A three is down, and the Panthers are on the board, down 8-3. James with that big vertical leap. He's rejected by Gray. Kendall rebounds. Krauser drives. And the rebound down to Chapman. Joe Chapman, a senior guard from Chicago, gets it down court. Good ball movement, good team speed demonstrated by Marquette.
Well, great job by Marquette to not only get back in transition defense and crash the glass with 4 or 5 guys. That was part of the game plan for Coach Green, but to immediately push the ball right down the throat of the Pittsburgh big men.
Hit down by 7 early in this game. Benjamin in the game goes out to Krauser, looking to put it up. He's partially rejected. Rebound turns around. Taken away by James. Here comes the freshman point guard. Down low to Usman Barrow. There's Novak's first shot, and that's Novak's strong suit. The three-point shot. He has over 300 threes in his career at Marquette. Made.
Don, just great ball movement there, starting with the young James. Pushing the ball in transition, finding Barrow, and again, Barrow's raw, but understands the game. For not playing that long, knocks it, passes it out to Novak, who's wide open, and that's good basketball. Those are the shots that Coach Green wants from his leader, Steve Novak.
So with 14:29 to play in the first half, Marquette out to a 10-point lead, 13-3. Yet with only the one defeat this year, and that was in they were beaten by St. John's a week ago. Jamie Dixon talked to him this morning, and he thought that defensive toughness is the key, because it said Marquette will really free up their shooters with their quick passing.
Well, the key, Don, also, if you remember last year, Chris Taft, Siobhan Troutman down in the post for Pitt. They were a different look team because they were really hard-nosed, aggressive in the post. This year, they're really a lot more fundamental, a lot more finesse, if you will, but still very good in the post, but a different look downstairs.
Now Benjamin off the drive. He can't get it to work. Rebound comes down to Ryan Amoroso in the game for Marquette. They're looking to go to the goal. Here's McNeil, a freshman driving. Will they score it? Wave it off. Tim Higgins says foul before the shot.
He'll get that in a couple years when he gets to that next level. They'll give him that shot. That'll be an and one for the young fella.
You have to earn that and one.
Right.
I'm out on the floor. Don Crickey with Donnie Marshall back at the Peterson Event Center, University of Pittsburgh. Pitt, one of 4 teams in Division I basketball. There's over 300 with just 1 loss. But today, Marquette off to a quick start, and Donnie, Pitt not shooting well.
They're not, and they're also not doing a very good job transition defense. As you see, Jarrell McNeil really getting himself to the basket. Marquette really doing a wonderful job, transition defense and pushing the ball right back at Pitt.
Novak rims out. Pitt just 1 of 10 shooting the ball in the early going. Down by 10, 13-3.
Marquette also helping themselves out by keeping the crowd out of it. And they can get rowdy in this building for Pitt.
That is the 3rd turnover of the game so far by Pitt. So Jamie Dixon's team with a cold start at home. But they can make it happen fast as Levance Fields is now in their back line defending against Dominic James. Dan Fitzgerald in the game for Marquette with the ball. Down to Amoroso. Fitzgerald coming off a terrific game, career game in the win over DePaul their last time out.
Amoroso carried that ball. That's the rule. That's one of the points of emphasis this year, is that hesitated dribble. Anytime that ball discontinues movement, whenever it stops, whether your hand's on top of the ball or underneath it, they're going to call a carry on that. The ball cannot come to rest.
Yeah, that's been called more and more. Now a quick putback underneath. Good job by sophomore Keith Benjamin, who gets the offensive rebound on the putback. Amoroso. Ryan Amoroso, he's capable of the big game. He had 30 points and 10 rebounds in Marquette's Great Alaska Shootout Championship game win over South Carolina. Benjamin outside, defended by McNeil. And Antonio Graves just averages under 4 points a game. He gets one there, and Pitt is now down by 8.
I love the way that Dominic James is running this team right now. He's taking the opportunities that he has if they're there in the open court, but if not, he gets the team set up. That's what Tom Crean loves about this kid.
Down low, a good move by Amoroso from Burnsville, Minnesota. A 6.4 point a game score. 2 quick hoops and another 10-point lead for the Golden Eagles of Marquette.
Amoroso uses his body well down in the post down at 6'8", 242 pounds. He also has a great touch out to about 16, 17 feet.
Yeah, he's got a good game. If they have to go to him on offense, he can do it. Look at James elevated 6 feet. Goes up over the big man to get the defensive rebound. James, who is a very good high school quarterback at Richmond, Indiana, drives the baseline of the court on a reverse. The Golden Eagles go to their biggest lead, a 12-point advantage.
Don, the one thing that stands out to me right now is not just the aggressiveness of Marquette, but the confidence they are playing with. And how you get that is by getting stops defensively and pushing the ball right back down. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting those opportunity baskets offensively.
Here's
Dominic James.
Great play, huh?
Just awesome ability. And you said he was a two-sport athlete. You could see him using his body there. I mean, this kid, he's 5'10", but he's built. I mean, they say 165. He's closer to about 180.
No, he's more than that. And it's all muscle. He's averaging over 15 points, almost 6 assists, almost 4.5 rebounds. Just a tremendous, they had to replace Travis Diener, and they've done it. This guy has really been he's probably the second best player on the team. Some would argue the first best for the time he has the ball.
He definitely makes this team go, and not because he has the ball in his hand, but because he is so tough and he plays with a tremendous amount of confidence. As you watch the game, you forget that he's a freshman. You really do.
Well, Marquette served Big East notice January 3rd when UConn, then number 2 in the country, went into Milwaukee. And Marquette upset them. Both these teams thought they'd be in rebuilding modes this year, but they're both very strong contenders, maybe to go deep into the NCAA tournament. 2 tries by Gray, the 7-footer. Now another try, and Kendall goes up, and he is fouled. And it looks like it might be on Novak. Aaron Gray, the junior 7-footer, who leads the Big East in rebound with over 10 a game. Big men have been quiet, though. Back to Pittsburgh. The Pitt Panthers going for their 5th straight NCAA tournament appearance, but in trouble at home early today, down 19-7 to the Golden Eagles of Marquette.
Well, Pitt trying to do a good job here inside. Marquette has to understand Pitt is a little bit bigger, as you see Gray getting 3 offensive rebounds, all off of his own shot. You got to put a body on him. I know it's a tough job, but someone you just have to hit him first, get low, and back him out.
Aaron Gray, he trimmed down, lost 35 pounds, and then picked up his game, getting up and down the floor a lot better.
And now leading the Big East in rebounds at 10.4. I mean, he's really come a long way, lost 37 pounds over the last 3 years. Got to give a lot of credit to a kid who can really be that dedicated.
Kendall gets an open one from 10 and knocks it down. And that was badly needed, as only 4 field goals so far for Pitt in 16 tries. Marquette with a lot of balanced scoring. They've got 4 players with 4 points apiece, one with 3.
Well, Don, get this. Before that shot there, Pitt was shooting 10% from the field versus Marquette 60%. But the reason is because Marquette was winning in the paint. 16 points for Marquette in the paint. A lot of fast breaks, and for Pitt, only 4.
James can't get the shot to go. And here comes Krauser. He's defended nicely by Fitzgerald. Nice job of doubling up on the ball, switching defense. Kendall shoots again. Rebound tapped out, right to Carl Krauser. A team rebound. Down low to Aaron Gray. Big man gets on the board, and the lead is cut to 8.
This is what you get from your senior leader, Carl Krauser. You know him as a scorer, but he's a point guard. And that's just a great pass and a great job by Gray to catch it. A lot of big guys nowadays, they catch the ball, they think they have to bring it down. They make themselves about 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Gray keeps it up and stays 7 feet and goes right back up and gets fouled.
Yeah, in practice, a lot of coaches, Donnie, will make guys run if they bring the ball and bounce it on the floor.
That's right. This is a little man's game anyway, Don. If you're 7 foot, why do you want to make yourself little?
It's a guard-oriented game, particularly in the NCAA tournament where possessions drop way down. The possessions are shorter, people going deeper into the shot clock. Here is a hard move as turning around and firing and getting it down is Joe Chapman. And again, a 9-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Dish down low. Gray has it taken away by Chapman. 4 turnovers so far today for Pitt.
Coach Crean really has his team focused in. When they have the opportunities to run, they run. If not, they pull it back out.
That was Gray rejecting Usman Barrow. Now, there's not a lot of good looks here for Pitt at their offensive end.
Well, the defensive intensity is just incredible right now. Very impressive. Aaron Gray is just bigger. Pitt's going to have to go to that if they're going to get that percentage up and get some points on the board. He's so much bigger than Barrow.
Gray getting the ball down. He's the only player from the state of Pennsylvania on the Pitt roster, from Emmaus, Pennsylvania. 21-14 game. Pitt starting to come back now. They've trailed by as many as 12. Kendall. Defensive breakdown. That's the first one of those today for Marquette.
Levon Kendall. Great recognition there. You get a little ball fake. Put it down, one dribble. Now Pitt on a 9-2 run. Basketball is a game of cycles, a game of runs.
And on the run to the basket is Usman Barrow. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes down. Moving the ball up quickly is Gerald McNeil. Graves. All of a sudden, a run by the Pitt Panthers as they've got a 12-point lead down to 3. And so a timeout called by Coach Crean to talk this over.
You know, just great when you have a big man who can put the ball on the floor, who's smart enough to recognize I'm open, I need to go hard to the basket. But watch this. Defense overplaying and one dribble right to the basket. You love a versatile big man like that. You see Gray there. He got hit in the stomach.
Aaron Gray, and that stomach a lot smaller too, Donnie, since he stopped eating. Lost the 37.
That's right. And this hurt too, but not him. Marquette and Barrow, but just a great job. I'm really impressed by big men in college today, is that the way they learn how to block shots and position their body. And here, offensively, you wouldn't have seen that from him a year and a half, 2 years ago.
He's being attended to, Aaron Gray, but looks like he's bouncing back. But he's out of the game for the moment with 8:33 to play in the first half. 21-18. Marquette in the lead after leading by as many as 12.
Very important for Marquette to get a little bit relaxed here, calm down, really start taking better care of the ball, because Pitt's pressure picks up when they go on their runs and this crowd gets behind them.
Sam Young in the front court now for Pittsburgh, one of those standout freshmen, as they attend to the big man Aaron Gray on the sideline.
Sam Young has been compared to Curtis Sumter, who's now injured at Villanova, but 6'6", really a guy who can do a lot on the floor. Mid-range game, has a little bit from three-point range.
It was a drive by James as he kicks it out to Fitzgerald, who hit a lot of threes against DePaul. Here's his first three try of the day. He knocks it down. Dan Fitzgerald, a transfer from Tulane, coming off a career-high 18-point game Wednesday night against DePaul. He hit 6 of 7 threes in that game.
Well, great ball movement there. Recognition of James to pass it to the wide-open Fitzgerald in the corner.
Krauser is blocked as he takes it inside. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. So we'll have a timeout before Carl Krauser goes to the free throw line. Welcome back to the University of Pittsburgh. Don Criqui with Donnie Marshall. Marquette led by as many as 12. They're up now by 6 as we look now at the move off the drive and the shot by Antonio Graves.
Well, Graves is in a difficult spot this season. Last year, remember, he was a starter. This is what he brings to the table. Now he's playing as an 8th or 9th guy off the bench.
As we take a look now at our Hyundai Coolfax, 77-74 was the score in that 6-16 game at Minneapolis 3 years ago when Marquette defeated Pittsburgh, and Marquette then going on to the Final Four. Marquette previous Final Four appearance was 25 years earlier in '77 when Coach McGuire and the then Warriors won it all.
So much tradition at that school. I mean, kids, all you have to do is open up their media guide, and that's enough just to have you say, hey, I'm going to that school.
They got a lot of right guys going there, and it's interesting, Donnie, that Marquette, after Novak, their 2, 3, and 4 scores this year are all freshmen.
Yeah.
Here's Krauser. He's the leading scorer. He was fouled by freshman Dominique James before he went to the line. He gets them both. Krauser, who's hit 43 threes this season. He'll be trying some before long, but he's hard-pressed to get a good look. Amoroso gets a three-point look and strokes it. Ryan Amoroso playing well, and now we have a deliberate foul. Cam Higgins crosses the arms. He's calling an elbow on Levon Kendall.
You see Amoroso knocking that shot down from outside. Just a versatile player. I love his game because we saw him score already around the basket. And then, again, great ball movement. There's one pass. Drive the baseline, defense rotates, and Amoroso not even thinking about it, knocking down that three. And just the concept of team basketball that Coach Crean has given these guys, they've really embraced it. Young guys, veterans, just a beautiful thing to see. This is just great basketball right there, especially when it ends with a made three-pointer down.
Yeah, Amoroso knocking it down. So Amoroso doing a good job early, helping Marquette build this lead. He came off the bench, did not start the game. 7 points for Ryan Amoroso.
You know, I thought I'd see guys like Kinsella and Amoroso getting more time versus this Pitt team because Levon Kendall and Aaron Gray are so big inside. Coach Crean is just throwing bodies at these guys, trying to wear this Pitt post guys down.
So on the flagrant, the ball will also come inbounds. Kinsella making 1 of 2. He came into the game shooting 50% of the line, just 2 of 4, now 3 of 6. But the Golden Eagles had the ball. James against Ramon, one of the best defenders in the Big East. In the back line, DeGroat doing a good job on Fitzgerald, not giving him open looks. Fitzgerald taps it out, knocked around, and there's a foul call. Going to go on Marquette. Georgetown and the Bearcats of Cincinnati playing today. In this game, we see it Georgetown up 32-16 in the first half.
Hey, John Thompson really has those guys playing well out there in D.C.
Michigan State ranked 12th nationally, up on Penn State.
Coach Crean's old team.
Yeah. We asked him about what he learned under Tom Izzo. He said you battle every day in practice is the first thing you learn. Every practice is a war to get ready for the games.
Carl Krauser, the ability to not settle for that jump shot, knowing that he's quicker than Fitzgerald out on the perimeter. And he's one of the best, Krauser, at giving you the extra little acting job at the end.
Fitzgerald got the personal foul. That's 5 team fouls now on the Golden Eagles of Marquette. Marquette defending well, and then with a ball fake, Krauser loses the defender, but the shot doesn't go, and now it's taken back by John DeGroat.
Again, the inability of Marquette to put a body on the Pittsburgh players. That's the problem. You have to hit them first. Once you box them out, then you go get the ball. So many young kids nowadays think they can use their athleticism. But you can bet there's a guy just as athletic, if not more than you.
Both these teams do a nice job switching on the ball, but that time the Panthers get it inside, and they cut the lead now down to 6. Mike Kinsella, the 7-footer, getting more and more playing time with the score.
Well, there you see Carl Krauser, great head fake and spun away. I would have liked him to jump into the defense a little bit there, but again, you think you got the ball, you got to really put a body on him, make sure that player is behind you, because if not, you cannot give Pittsburgh second chances, because when you do, they kill you, especially at home.
Actually, Young apparently credit for the basket as you go to the free throw line, not Kinsella. Initial indication, so the inside play, but they get the offensive rebound back. Pittsburgh, next time out, they'll go to Connecticut. Getting the easy right now, a 3-point hit.
Ronald Ramon doing what he does best. A little different role for him this year, playing more point, trying to get Carl Krauser coming off those screens, but he can really shoot the ball.
Kinsella at 7 feet takes it to the basket and slams it down. Dixon protesting furiously. He thought there was a travel on the play.
The big fella forgot a Samsonite there. Got away with the walk.
Here's Young over to Ramon. He can shoot the 3, but not with James on him. Krauser, good move in, out to Ramon. 3-point try doesn't go. Rebound comes down, and Joe Chapman starts up court now for Marquette. Steal by Krauser. Took it away from the freshman McNeil.
Krauser's got savvy. He's got those quick hands. You can't expose the ball in front of him.
Young can't get the 3 to go. Rebound comes down to Gerald McNeil. 5:12 left to go in the first half. Marquette led by as many as 12, 19-7 at one point. This shot doesn't go. The Pitts really picked up their rebounding, Donnie, and gotten back into the game because of it. In one stretch, they had the 10 straight rebounds. Now player control, offensive foul.
Again, we talked early in the game. One problem for Marquette is rebounding, not boxing out. But what they're doing well is getting back defensively, as you see the charge taken there. Tough call there by the official, but it's a part of Big East basketball. You got to keep playing. Some calls may go your way and some might not. You got to keep playing.
John DeGroat was the guy who committed the foul. So it's back over to Marquette. As we look at the rebounding, Pittsburgh with an edge there with that run of 10 straight. But Marquette has led throughout. Here is Novak. That was a 2-pointer. Foot was on the line. It's now a 32-25 game Marquette.
Don, this kid is 6'10" and he moves very well. He shoots the ball off the dribble. I really like guys like Steve Novak.
Well, Jerry Wainwright, Donnie, the coach of DePaul, said he's a college Dirk Nowitzki.
He is a little bit. I think he's not as big, but he does a little bit more than Nowitzki. As you see Young getting to the basket there, Novak really has a knack for catching and moving without the ball. Dirk Nowitzki doesn't put the ball on the floor as well as Novak does. But Adam Morrison, another guy you think about who can shoot the ball at 6'8", 6'9", moves very well. Those are special players, Don. Those guys are tough matchups for any team.
Yeah, at 6'10", Novak, the foul there was on the Novak. He got his second. That sends Sam Young to the free throw line for Pittsburgh, the freshman from Clinton, Maryland, who had 12 points, his career high so far, and a win over Rutgers. But you talked about Young, Downey, being an energizer. He comes off the bench and really picks things up, particularly with his high-level game. He gets up and rebounds, rejects. It is now a 32-27 game. The Panthers have headed down to 3 twice. Amoroso starting to light it up like he did in that Big East, the Great Alaska Shootout Championship game, when Marquette beat South Carolina in overtime 92-89. 10 points now for Amoroso. He's hit all 4 of his shots, 2 of them threes.
It's a tough matchup for Gray, but they're going to have to go right back at Amoroso because he cannot guard Gray in the post.
Amoroso got part of the rebound knocked away, but over to James. On the side, the freshman McNeil missed it all, but here's an interception by James. Lead, back inside, slap back to Fitzgerald. Everybody in that game on the offensive end. Lots of touches for Marquette. Rebound now taken down. Gray and his teammate Krauser, and Krauser comes away with the ball.
But great ball movement, way to share the ball by Marquette. Again, Carl Krauser is just so tough putting the ball on the floor. You really got to keep moving with him and give him a little ground going backwards to stay in front of him.
Yeah, Krauser is definitely a penetrator. McNeil just got his first personal foul. Marquette has led throughout. Bench scoring's been a big reason. Players coming off the Golden Eagles bench have hit 6 of 6 for 16 bench points. Amoroso, the guy that's really getting it done.
Here you see the great ball movement off the steal by Marquette. And they're not going to score on this play, but the way that they're sharing the ball and the way the ball is rotating, those type of plays down the stretch will come out. You'll come out on top because defenses get tired of shifting and rotating, and they really start to get confused. So just a great job, and it's important for Coach Crean's team to understand, don't get discouraged if you miss those shots because you will have them if you continue to pass the ball that way.
Krauser fouled before the timeout, can't get the free throw. Kendall had the rebound for a moment, but the quick hands of Marquette, and James in the back line take it away. Really extending the defense on James is Ramon. Dominic James with a tremendous move to the basket.
The ability to jump and hang in the air is really what created that bucket for him.
And 6 points for James. Pitt has hit 2 of 5 threes so far today. Marquette has hit 4 of 8. Marquette is #1 in the Big East in three-point shooting, almost 41% as a team. There's Kendall dishing out. Left free. And making it go is Antonio Graves.
He's really accepted his role this year, Don, in being that 8th or 9th guy off the bench after starting last season. Got a good head on his shoulders, but he just adds so much off the bench for Pittsburgh.
Well, Tom Crean, Don, he said the big difference between Conference USA, where Marquette has been in the recent years, and the Big East is bench strength. He said there's just so many good players coming off the bench on every team in the Big East. There's so much depth, and here is Fitzgerald coming off a career game when he hit all those threes against DePaul. Hit 6 of 7. He's got 2 of them today.
Well, his bench has 19 points today, so you know they're not too shabby either when you talk about bench production.
Now they're coming up with a lot of points off the bench. Amoroso leading the way. He has 10 off the bench for Marquette. Ronald Ramon finds the three-point range.
One guy out there you must find, that's Ronald Ramon. Marquette 5 for 9 from that range, and they do a great job of swinging the ball. Pitt has done a much better job in the last 8 minutes of finding guys on the perimeter.
Ramon with the 3 cuts the Marquette lead to 7. The Golden Eagles have been up by 12 points in the game, 19-7, and Pitt has cut it to 3 twice.
You're dating yourself, my friend, calling them the Warriors.
Well, I knew Coach McGuire so well. He was quite a young man.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Unlike him, really. It was a great one. Here is outside move now to Fitzgerald, and looking down the baseline, there's nobody open as the cut was made, but the defender was there, and now the ball knocked away, taken back by Pitt. 4 turnovers now for Marquette. Here is the rebound by Amoroso. Up court to James.
A little quick shot there, but not a bad one if it's Carl Krauser shooting it and he sees the defender has his hands down.
Fitzgerald out high. Krauser goes for the steal and he forces it. And then it's knocked back by Fitzgerald down to Amoroso. And there's going to be a foul called on Pitt underneath.
Well, Amoroso doing a great job being aggressive, going to the basket. And, you know, he shoots from outside also, but you see Fitzgerald deflecting it, but ball slips out of his hand a little bit, but he continues to pursue the ball. You love to see that from your young guys, just being aggressive.
We've got a lot of guys today who are aggressive, Donnie. The shot clock is now off with 32 seconds to play in the half. Long ball on the way. It is not made by Chapman. And now foul is called on Marquette with 26.8 seconds left.
I would have liked to see Marquette run a little bit more time off of that clock. Yes, you have an open shot, and that's what a lot of young players have to understand. Just because you're open, it doesn't mean you shoot it. You try to find the best shot available. And if it's at 3, you take it. If it's with the clock running down, you got to find something better than that, though.
And the foul was on Dan Fitzgerald. His second, the 9th team foul on Marquette in the first half. Pitt still with only 5 team fouls.
Don, Marquette's done a great job of really continuing to keep the lead, even with this crowd and Pitt making a little run. They've really impressed me as far as their confidence and staying with their offense.
They are. Marquette has a fast break game. They have a controlled set it up offense, which they're running now for a last shot. Bender's coming out for the Panthers. Novak, they've got to release. An open shooter is left free, and they cannot go. It's off the rim by Amoroso. And the first half ends with the Marquette Golden Eagles leading by 7 as an underdog on the road. The superpower Pitt Panthers have been with a 16-1 record. Marquette ready to go on defense. The Pitt Panthers will inbound the ball. As you look at the first half stats, Donnie, they're not shooting well.
Well, the turnovers also hurt that too. Every opportunity, whenever you give the ball away, that's one less opportunity you have to score. 9 turnovers for Pitt.
2-5 for the Golden Eagles, and now Marquette on defense. Here's Aaron Gray. They've kept him down for the most part with his inside game. They talked about keeping the big guys out from the paint. And here is Levon Kendall, can't get it put back. Barrow rebounds. Marquette comes up on a controlled break.
Then Marquette dodged the bullet there, giving up offensive rebounds, and they've done a great job of that with Jarrell McNeil coming down right back down the throat of Pitt. Pitt's got to do a much better job in this second half of stopping that ball in transition.
And Jarrell McNeil has now scored 6 points for Marquette. Gray dishes. 6'1" guard putting it up with a lot of arc on it and getting it down. It's a 7-point game, Marquette, and now a held ball and the possession arrow points to Marquette.
Again, if that ball goes through Aaron Gray, this is what happens. Carl Krauser makes a good pass, but Gray, the mindset to pass it, nice little floater. He's a New York kid. Ramon, he knows how to finish every which way that is possible.
Yeah, he's an underrated guy. He's a sophomore from the Bronx, New York. Now the missed shot, and Krauser comes the other way for Pitt. Panthers coming in with a 16-1 record, one of just 4 Division I teams with 1 loss so far this season. Now they get an easy look down low for Aaron Gray. Aaron Gray with 7 points.
2 scores. Aaron Gray has touched the ball in both situations.
Pitt is on a 12-game home winning streak. Overall, as mentioned, 60-5 at home in this building. 23-4 in Big East play in this building. McNeil can't get that one to go. Rebound knocked around, a heavy-duty collision, and coming away with the ball is Novak. As Pitt doubles up on him, he somehow gets rid of it. Dish out, last touched by Pitt. It'll come back inbounds to Marquette. Now Grimm comes in the game for Marquette.
Here you see Marquette, Big East standings there. Pitt and Marquette close behind Pitt. Picked to finish 7th preseason Big East polls, and Jamie Dixon was a little fired up about that ranking. Thought they were a little bit better.
And how about Marquette down here? They were picked in the Project poll to finish 12th.
Well, that's the newness. Really, the Big East officials not knowing how good this team was going to play in a new conference.
Foul was on Aaron Gray. He just got his first.
Yeah, a little bit of a push off there. That's an easy one, especially when you're a big guy pushing off a smaller guy.
Novak defended by Kendall, the best big man defender on the Pitt team. Tom Crean up, calling the play. Got a lot of intensity on the floor and on the benches. These coaches directing their teams, and now ball knocked away. Coming up with Krauser, 2 men back from Marquette. A lead to DeGroat. He saves the ball, but not for but a split second as James comes in to take it away.
Well, he knew he made a mistake turning the ball over at the other end, and just the hustle to get back to his football days, intercepted that ball.
That's right. He picked it right out, took it away. Now the shot rims out, rebound to Kendall. Gets it out to Ronald Ramon. The Panthers down by 5. They've trailed by as many as 12 in the first half. They were down 19-7. DeGroat doesn't take many threes. Kendall putting it back up and down. LeVon Kendall, who starred for the Canadian national team when they beat the USA, he scored 41 points in that game and had 10 rebounds against the USA. From Vancouver, Canada. The Panthers on a 6-0 run, down by 3.
And Marquette just getting themselves in bad situations. A lot of dribbling and picking the ball up in traffic. You can't dribble into that traffic and get yourself in trouble. That's what happens. Turnovers. Carl Krauser getting these fans fired up.
Pitt tying him up and getting the possession arrow, and now here come the Panthers. A 3 would tie the game. This is as close as the Panthers have been on their home floor. They were down to a 3-point disadvantage twice in the first half. Gray up, not enough on it. Novak's on the floor, and we're going to have a foul call.
They got a violation there.
The ball, a violation.
Ball went up through the basket. It's a tough call there because you really couldn't see who hit the ball.
Yeah, the object of the game to get it down to the other.
That's right. It's got to go through the other way. But again, Jamie Dixon saying, how do we know who hit the ball?
11 turnovers now for Pittsburgh. Jamie Dixon, in his 3rd year, took over for Ben Howland, and when he went to UCLA, he'd been an assistant of Howland's. And Dixon has been sensational, and whoever the coach of the year is going to be in college basketball, he certainly has to be in the conversation. 67-15 is his record as the head coach since he took over for Pitt.
Well, here you see another look at it. Aaron Gray, good no call there, but yeah, it was off of LeVon Kendall. And it's got to go through the other way. So good call. And you talk about Jamie Dixon and the job that he's done here in a short amount of time. I mean, he's really gotten these kids to a point to play with the toughness. And we talked about earlier in the first half, you know, you lose Siobhan Troutman and you lose Chris Taft. Those are physical guys. Those are guys you teach to be aggressive. Come back this year with LeVon Kendall and Aaron Gray, and now they have a different style of play, more methodical, and he's done a great job of teaching him the right way to play and to be successful playing Jamie Dixon basketball.
Yeah, Troutman and Taft, they were the top 2 rebounders, and they were 2 and 3 scorers for Pitt last season. Troutman graduated. Taft left early for the pros. Crowd really getting into it. The Peterson Event Center sold out. It always is. 12,500. Here is a line drive jumper as the freshman Dominique James knocks it down. And the Golden Eagles extend again to a 6-point lead.
I know people talk about his youth and how young he is, but he's what I call a gamer. He's a guy that you want on the line to hit those big shots for you already.
James with 9. Krauser rims out. Rebound to Kendall. And there'll be a foul call.
Again, Marquette has to really focus in and hone in on putting a body on the Pittsburgh defenders because they are getting killed on the glass.
Foul calling Chris Grimm. We're back at the Peterson Event Center. Marquette led by 7 at the half. Now their lead is 6.
You talk about recognition, Don, and Dominique James looking over the defense and said, you know what, I see a little guy this way that's probably as quick as me. I see a big guy to my left. I'm going to go with the big guy, and he made the right decision. Big shot right there for Marquette.
Real big. You see Dominique James, 3 times the Big East Rookie of the Week with 9 points. 3-point shooting, Marquette its usual effective self. 6 of 13, Pitt 4 of 11 from the arc. Krauser driving. Big people defend. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Marquette's Fitzgerald.
One thing we talked with Coach Crean about before the game is he said we don't want that ball going to the middle of the floor. When Carl Krauser has it on the wing or any of their guards, send it baseline because that baseline acts as another defender, and they did a great job of closing down there.
They did. Krauser now is freed up for 3. Carl Krauser strikes from the dark. That is his 45th three-pointer of the season. Getting the game down to a 3-point margin. And a foul calls on Aaron Gray, just his 2nd for the big man from Pitt.
Again, Dominique James saying, I see the big man this way, I'm going right at him. I know he can't move his feet and stay in front of me. Great decision by James.
The Big East this week with 7 teams in the top 25, 8 teams in the RPI top 40. Marquette one of those 8, and they're heading into the top 25 if they can hold on today. But Pitt's so tough to beat anywhere, particularly on this floor. Now James pulling up. You talked about his elevation, Donnie, and he got way up but couldn't get the shot to go. Ramon now looking for a setup man. They're looking down low. A lot of defenders now bouncing off the big men for Marquette, and a foul is called because of it.
Well, just a little bit too much with the hands. That's like an NBA move there. And again, another guy, Chris Grimm. You see Coach Green playing as bigger guys who don't get a lot of minutes, trying to battle Gray down in the post.
Chris Grimm getting the foul, and now on the inbounds, Kendall is freed up for a 3-point try. Rebound slap back to Novak. Marquette by 3. Dominique James puts a burst down, goes by the defender and lays it in.
You talk about world-class Olympic-style athlete. That's exactly what he is.
He is a fine-looking player. Freshman Dominique James. He now has 11. Well, he didn't play like a freshman when he's got the ball. And now they get it down low to Aaron Gray, and the Panthers come back with 2, and again cut it to 3. James starts in, and he is hip checked by Kendall, who certainly couldn't stay with the super fast point guard. So he hip checks him, knocks him down, gets the foul. It's his 2nd.
You know, Don, we talk about guys who are great athletes. As just this right here, just a great play from Carl Krauser, and again going to Gray. But Dominic James, not that he's just a great athlete, but he has the basketball intelligence also.
Yeah, he does. He's just he plays like a guy that's a senior. Here is an attempt at a steal, but Kendall is going to be called for the personal foul.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Again, we talked about it's a small man's game. Anytime you're 6'10", 6'11", and you're reaching at a guy who's about 6'3", you always lose that battle. Just a bad play right there by Kendall. You got to understand, you're more important to your team on the floor than you are as a cheerleader on the bench.
And that, Donnie, was Kendall's 3rd personal foul as he sits down. There are 14 fouls on Pitt in the 2nd half, 2 on Marquette. Warriors have led from the start. Jumped out to an early lead, build it to 12 at a 7-point advantage at a half. Here's Novak with a good look inside, doesn't go. A fight for the rebound. Novak comes back with it. And they're going to get him stepping on the baseline of the court.
It looked like a 3-second call there, Don. Anytime you pump fake 3 times, you're basically counting for the official. But good move here, and good job of staying with that and getting your own rebound. But he's in there 1 second. 1 pump, 2 pumps. Once you get ready to go for that 3rd one, you're counting for the official. That's an easy call there.
So a Marquette turnover. A 3-point lead for the Golden Eagles, and Pitt with the ball, looking maybe to hit a 3 and tie it up. Marquette bringing his defense way out against the 3-point shooters. Aaron Gray, not much from a jump shooting standpoint from there. James intercepts. And James is hurt as Dominique James holding his shoulder after that collision. So play is stopped while the freshman point guard for Marquette is looked at.
Don, he was really in a lot of pain. See if we can get a better look here. He's fine there, but the bump looks like it could have been a shoulder, and he's in a lot of pain. And this is a tough kid. We're not talking about a guy who's a fragile body. I mean, you said he's a former football player.
Yeah, he's a top quarterback. Richmond, Indiana. There's the bang. It's like the pain kicks in a couple seconds later.
And at times with injuries, that's all it can take is just a little bump. You get hit the right way, and it can be something as small as that. And he was in a lot of pain. He's still down now. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, Jarrell McNeil's getting set to come back in.
I tell you, that's a big blow if he doesn't come back in the game, because this Marquette team is really, I mean, you talk about teams who are fueled by their point guards, and they're not just fueled by him as a point guard, but his energy at both ends of the floor, similar to Pittsburgh with Carl Krauser.
He's still in a lot of pain, Dominique James, as they're taking him to the locker room to look at him. So this freshman point guard who scored 11 has been terrific in every aspect of the game today. Has been an enormous reason why Marquette is, as an underdog, has been leading this game from the open. But now Tom Crean has to go to his bench and try to hope that another backcourt combination. They're also missing another top freshman guard in Wesley Matthews, who was the Wisconsin Player of the Year last season at Madison's Memorial High School. He's out there. Expect him back soon. But the loss for the moment of Dominique James is huge. Rebound comes down. Taking it down is Antonio Graves.
Well, look for Carl Krauser now to start taking over now that James is out.
Here is in the backcourt Levance Fields, a freshman from New York. A lot of players, 6 in the metropolitan New York area for Pitt.
Short.
Rebound to Fitzgerald. Up court it goes. This is Jarrell McNeil going hard and banking it up. Contact, no foul. Back over to Pitt as they try to settle things down after a couple of empty trips for each team.
And we saw Carl Krauser get his shot deflected a little bit there by the bigger Fitzgerald, but knowing Carl Krauser, he's going to go right back at him, thinking he owes him one.
Here is Gray, defended by Amoroso. Ball's off the hands of an inside man, Krauser. Up court to Fitzgerald, is taken back by Sam Young, and he's quickly fouled by Dan Fitzgerald.
Just a little lackadaisical Fitzgerald there was with the basketball, especially when you're in an environment like this. That high dribble gets you in trouble. You can see him kind of looking around, but eases up just a little bit, and Young was right there for the steal, and a foul on Fitzgerald. That's his third.
Yeah, 3 on Fitzgerald. This whole town is pumped. Everybody supercharged over the Steelers as they head to Detroit. They had a rally last night at Heinz Field. 30,000 people were there. And Pittsburgh may be a contender to win it all this year. Who knows? In basketball. Right now, a timeout on the floor at 11:47 left to play in the game. Marquette by 3. The Pitt Panthers have out-rebounded Marquette, but they've turned the ball over much more often. Pitt's team with 13 turnovers to 8 for Marquette, Donnie.
Yeah, Pittsburgh doing a great job in the post as far as rebounds are concerned, 33-22, and big part of that is Aaron Gray taking up a lot of space. Carl Krauser didn't call it down off the glass, but that went off the glass from the corner.
He will accept it. Here's a steal. He takes it away from Fitzgerald. And Krauser with 5 points in 5 seconds.
Well, we talked about it before the timeout. Dominique James went out at the 13:20 mark, and Carl Krauser has 5 points since then. Look for him to really start going up now that James is not in there.
Now Jarrell McNeil has to work at the point, and a foul is called on Pitt down low. Pointing it looks like at Antonio Graves, as Pittsburgh has taken the lead for the first time in the game on the 5-point outburst by Carl Krauser, the 3 and the steal and the drive.
Well, Jamie Dixon did a great job out of the timeout by saying, let's get my team, my captain going. That was high off the glass.
Here's Fitzgerald leaning. Rebound comes down to Aaron Gray. It's a huge loss, the shoulder injury to Dominique James, still in the locker room. The Golden Eagles, they are indeed, as it is now 10:56 left to play in the game, and it is a 49-47 game Pitt.
Now this is where you look for Jarrell McNeil to step up. Steve Novak especially has to step up, being that senior leader. Inbounds,
McNeil fouls Antonio Graves as he went for the steal on the long inbounds pass. Interesting, Donnie, to see how many teams in the Big East go to the NCAA tournament. A lot of contenders in '91. It's pretty remarkable. There were 9 teams in the Big East and 7 went.
Yeah, and you can bet, and I would imagine that at least 7 would go this year, if not 8 or 9.
Graves, long distance, and all of a sudden the Panthers have exploded on a 10-0 run, and they've taken a 5-point lead.
Well, the one problem with going down when you've been ahead against Pittsburgh is that it's hard to get the lead back. They're stingy when it comes to giving up leads.
They got Fitzgerald, big as he is at 6'9", working in the back line, kind of playing a setup man on the offense without Dominique James. So without James, who started every game and played virtually every minute this season for Marquette, and their offensive sets are in a bit of disarray.
They are, but the thing that's important for them to understand is that you can't go east to west. If you're going to score against Pittsburgh, you have to make that ball go towards the basket, meaning north and south. You saw there a lot of dribbling out on the perimeter. Silly foul by Pittsburgh because defensively you're at an advantage without James in the game.
Big disadvantage. Since he's gone out, it has scored 8 straight points, and now Fitzgerald breaks that run with a free throw and a try for a second.
There you see James back on the bench. I'm sure Coach Crean is see Dominic James grabbing his shoulder there a little bit, but Coach Crean is probably a breath of fresh air came into his lungs right there when he saw his stud come back out on the floor, even if he is just on the bench.
He was injured in an inadvertent collision with a Pitt player when they're both going for a ball. And it is his right shoulder, a right-handed player. It is now a 52-49 game. Here is the fight for the rebound, and Sam Young takes it down.
Again, you cannot give this Pittsburgh team extra opportunities on the offensive glass at home.
They will capitalize, and now a travel is called as Young takes an extra step. Freshman player, and the ball is back over to Marquette. 14th turnover of the game for the Pitt Panthers.
There's a rebound margin. That's just incredible.
Jarrell McNeil dishes down low. Up and down. The ball is put up and down by Jamil Watt.
Again, I just talked about going north to south, and you saw that's exactly what they did there. And it's surprising when that ball touches the paint, how many opportunities you'll have to score under there.
Tom Crean, Donnie, going deep into his bench today. Guys that haven't gotten a lot of playing time, like Lott and Chris Grimm have been in there. Here's Levance Field, very quick. He's the heir apparent to the point guard position when Krauser leaves after the season, and Fields gets it back, lays it in. And it's a 3-point lead for Pitt with 9 minutes to go.
Great job by Amoroso to go straight to the basket, straight line. He didn't waste any dribbles. He saw that the defender was still moving and got the block call. You know, Don, I'd be surprised if Coach Crean leaves James on the bench. I looked over at Dominique James and I kind of pointed to say, are you okay? And he looked at me and said, yes, shook his head, yes. So I would be surprised if Coach Crean didn't get him in the next minute and a half or so.
I think he's the kind of a guy, though, Donnie, get out there with a broken arm.
You're absolutely right.
Amoroso at the free throw line. 9 of the 10 bench players that Tom Crean has used for Marquette have scored in this game. They had 19 points off their bench in the first half when Marquette took a 40-33 halftime lead. Here's Krauser. Rims out. Lott comes down with the ball. And here come the Golden Eagles. Actually, he's now gone back in as Dominique James in the locker room. Nice move inside.
Yeah, and that's what Jarrell McNeil has to look for. Again, going to the basket. Keep the pressure on this Pittsburgh defense.
We'll be back after this. We're tied back at the University of Pittsburgh, 54 all. As we look now at our Red Lobster nothing but net shot of the game. We've had some good ones, and here is one of them. Dominique James off the dribble. Dominique James off the dribble. We give him 2 lobsters today. And he's on the bench. He's really hurting, though, that right shoulder in a collision. He's been out since the 13:20 mark of the second half. 8:30 left to play in the game now, in a game that the Pitt Panthers, favored on their home floor, have trailed by as many as 12, and that was in the first half. They've led by as many as 5 in the second half. We're tied up now with a long way to go. 8:20 to play. Drive to the basket. Graves is rejected down low by Lott. Here now is Novak kicking it back out.
Novak screaming for the ball. He has Aaron Gray on him on the perimeter.
Beautiful move by the freshman Jarrell McNeil.
Great recognition by McNeil to see Aaron Gray out on the perimeter guarding Novak and getting to the basket.
And like James Downey, he started at every game as a freshman in the backcourt. Jarrell McNeil. Marquette taking back the lead. Marquette right now on a 5-0 run. Here's an attempt at a steal. Gray goes to pick it up. It knocks it over to Amoroso, and the Golden Eagles come down on the fly as it is McNeil driving hard to the basket, and he is fouled and will go to the free throw line.
You know, we talked to Coach Crean before the game. He said, you know, what we want to do, we don't want to double the post. What we want to do is dig down. And that's exactly what Fitzgerald did right there.
At the Peterson Event Center, Marquette leading Pittsburgh 56-54 as we take a look now at a game-changing performance brought to you by Pontiac.
The little bulldog, I call him, he reminds me a little bit of Sherman Douglas from back in the days playing at Syracuse. And there the kiss off the finger. He blew a kiss and then laid it up, but just so much energy this guy plays with. You gotta love it.
5 points in 5 seconds for Kyle Krauser. Then Marquette rallies back and now has a 2-point lead. Playing now, though, in the second half without starting point guard Dominique James, out with a shoulder injury, injured in the second half. He's on the bench, but there's been no move to put him in. He still appears to be in a lot of discomfort over there.
You know, I'm impressed with the way that guys have stepped up.
Yeah, they have.
Since James has gone out, and that's just a testament to Coach Crean and the job that he does and his coaching staff does with this team to understand that everyone is important, not just 1 or 2 guys. And
they've really changed, Donnie, the way they played the game. They brought Fitzgerald out, almost playing a big man point. Going to offensive sets, and now the game is tied up down low.
Yeah, and they've really done a great job. Fitzgerald not trying to, understanding what his role is and his abilities, not really trying to break guys down with the dribble, but just trying to be a playmaker.
Sam Young getting his first points the last trip down, and now the rebound comes down to Krauser. Tied with 6:45 to play. A loose ball knocked around and out of bounds. It comes inbound to the Golden Eagles of Marquette.
You know, Don, I'd really like to see Steve Novak getting himself going, being a little bit more aggressive the way we've seen him in a couple different games, especially the one against UConn. He was so aggressive. He needs to get like that in order for his team to win this game without James today.
Marquette gets a roll as it's put up by Joe Chapman, the senior from Chicago. Bounces down. 15 turnovers by Pittsburgh so far today in this game, and the Marquette Golden Eagles have a 2-point lead over the Panthers. Krauser putting people on the floor with a spin move. Rebound put up a second time. Aaron Gray's going to keep at it until he gets it down. The third try is good. That ties the game, and Gray goes to the and one at the line. He can bring Pitt back into the lead.
Again, you talk about Marquette, the inability to put a body on the bigger Gray, but Gray's ability to keep the ball high. All young players who are big players should really take notice of Gray and the job that he does of keeping that ball high.
Pay Downey, where he's really done a job is on the boards. He misses the free throw, but he has 17 rebounds today, Aaron Gray. He has 11 points. Krauser with 13.
17 rebounds to help your average on the
He's already the Big East leading rebounder at 10.4 a game. Now a turnover. Somebody stepped down the baseline sideline of the court. Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the Game, Aaron Gray, 2 blocks, 17 rebounds, ties a season high, which he is almost certain to eclipse because we've got 5:47 left to play.
You know, and about 6 or 7 of those rebounds have been offensive. Just a great job of sticking his nose in right around the basket.
Well, he had 2 offensive rebounds in the last one. He put his own missed shots up twice. Out it goes. Antonio Graves. Graves a three. Panthers take the lead, 61-58.
We see Dominique James back in the game. And they're going to need him to finish this one out on the road.
Graves now has 13. Amoroso, who had 10 off the bench in the first half. He's been quiet in the second half. They have Kendall on him, defending him tightly. James in the game, puts it up and can't get it to go. Little too much on it. And the Panthers with Krauser driving hard to the basket. He gets it down. A blocking foul is called on Marquette. They'll go to the line.
Tough call there, Novak, trying to do the right thing. Probably should have backed off a little bit. But great transition here. And Krauser using his body well over the bigger Novak. This is just a great fast break right here, Don. Ball doesn't touch the floor until Krauser puts it down a couple times, gets his balance, and finishes. And you try to close games out. You talk about closing games out at home, and when you got guys like Carl Krauser who can finish like he can and make free throws like he does, adds that extra confidence to a coaching staff and a team and the fans.
Well, we have a 64-58 lead for the Panthers. Novak tightly defended. Very few looks for Novak today as Krauser tries to save the ball and he crashes into the front row.
You see about 5 fans tried to grab him out of respect. They don't want anything happening to their senior leader.
And in that front row, you've got a lot of Pitt benefactors. You don't want anything to happen to them either.
But they're here for number 11. That's why they're here, and that's why they give the big money, because of guys like that and the way that they play and what they represent for this university.
Shot clock shows 18 seconds. That's what they'll have when the ball is put back into play. Wild game. Pitt down by 12 in the first half, down by 7 at halftime, up by 5 in the second half. Marquette came back to take back the lead, and now Pitt has it by 6 on a floor where they've won 12 straight home games, and since this building opened have won 60 of 65 games at home. Georgetown, commanding lead over Cincinnati, a 21-point advantage in the second half. Michigan State has rallied back. They trailed Penn State. The Spartans, and now they're up by 5 in the second half. And Michigan State number 12. Vanderbilt up on 4th-ranked Florida. One of those 4 teams along with Pitt with only 1 loss this season, the Florida Gators.
The fans here at Pitt really getting into it, getting behind their team. They know it's 4.5 minutes to go, how important this time is. One thing for a player to know time and score, but for your crowd to know, that's pretty special.
Watching James here closely, Donnie, he still is bothered by that right shoulder. He's using his left hand more. Every chance he gets when there's a pause and play, kind of stretches out the right shoulder.
Well, you got 420. If you're hurt, and I love the kid, he's tough. You're not helping your team if you're out there playing like that and you're worried about your shoulder.
Long ball by Novak. He had to force a long 3. Here comes Graves the other way. And there's a blocking foul called on Marquette.
Tough call there. That he's really getting beat up tonight, or today I should say. Dominique James, first the shoulder and then here trying to get in position. Just tried to slide his hip over a little bit, and Tim Higgins was right on top of that one. He gets one to the gut there, and hopefully they have a day off tomorrow where he can rest up and have a full body ice down.
Yeah,
as he leaves it all on the floor.
All the help he can get. As Novak today has only 6 points, the leading scorer for Marquette, over 16 a game. Of course, he's the man who hit the 41 in the upset of Connecticut on January 3rd in Marquette's opening Big East game, serving notice to the conference. Graves with the free throws. Biggest lead of the game now for Pitt. An 8-point advantage with 4:10 to play. Jarrell McNeil drives inside, and he is fouled on the play. That will be the 10th team foul of the half against Pitt. There are 18 fouls against Marquette at this point.
Jarrell McNeil's done a good job even when James was out. You know, he getting to the basket. Novak's only shot the ball 8 times today. When you're the leading scorer and you're the team leader of this Marquette team, it's unacceptable to have 8. Only 8 field goal attempts.
Well, it's the Pitt defense. I mean, they've kept the ball out of his hands. He hasn't had many touches.
Exactly right. Pitt has really done a great job of understanding what he brings to the table and how deadly he can be from downtown, and really made great adjustments at halftime defensively.
McNeil rims out the second. Well, a great way to get back in a game is to get points from the line with a clock stop. But nothing happens, and the ball is back over to the Panthers.
Probably the 3 most important elements, Don, when you're on the road is making your free throws, taking care of the ball, and rebounding. And two out of 3 of those, Marquette hasn't really done a great job of today.
Rouser misses. Jameel Lott rebounds, and here comes James. He goes to his left hand. Back out to Novak. Chapman kicks it out. Open look. Too much on it. Rebound to Aaron Gray, his 18th rebound of the day. I tell you, I think right now, Donnie, Dominic James is playing on guts. He's that right arm. He's not able to use it much after taking that hard shot to his shoulder earlier in the second half.
He's playing on pure adrenaline right now. He'll feel that tomorrow. He doesn't really feel it as much as he's gonna in the days to come.
I don't know if he can shoot the ball, though, with that right arm. If the shot clock is down to 2 to 1, it's on the way. And slapped out, and out to Krauser. Team rebound is valuable. 2:42 to play.
It really is, and the thing that I like about Gray is he understands he has a lot of rebounds, but he's not trying to be a hog. He knows that possession of the ball is very important as he tips the ball back to his teammates.
Aaron Gray now credited with 20 rebounds today. For the Pitt Panthers, as another Golden Eagle hits the deck hard. Timeout on the floor with 2:33 left to play in the game, and the Panthers rallying from behind by 7 at the half to take a 66-58 lead. Panthers on their home floor where they've won 12 straight have rallied back from a 7-point halftime deficit to lead by 8. A critical point in the game came on this play. Down court goes the sensational freshman Dominique James. A contact with his right shoulder. He was out for an extended period of time. He's come back since that injury, but it's really been playing with his left arm for the most part, his left hand. You see Pitt on a 22-11 run since Dominique James was hurt. Today's game is brought to you by the best seats for every event. No tickets required. It only happens in one place, only Vegas. Amoroso at the free throw line. He had 10 off the bench in the first half, and he cuts the Panther lead now to 66-59.
Talking about the James injury, it shows you how important he is to this team. He went out with 13:20 left to go in this game, and since he's been back, he hasn't scored, and his team isn't faring very well either.
Rouser is the leading scorer for Pitt with 16. Graves with the ball has scored 15.
It's amazing how mentally a team can break down because of one player. Like James, one of your leaders, goes out.
Great look inside by Amoroso, countering the basket by Graves at the other end. And again, it is a 68-61 7-point lead for the Panthers of Pitt.
Tom Crean asking his guys or telling his guys to extend the defense. We need to get this ball back. Every possession counts now with 1:40 to go.
Yeah, we're coming down the stretch. Aaron Gray with 20 rebounds out to Ramon.
And that's how special this kid is. You talk about the rebounds, him taking up space, but his ability to pass the ball and find his teammates really is phenomenal.
Long ball. Karam's out. Coming down with the ball is Chapman. Marquette still with it, but that might have been the knockout punch, Downey. That long ball by Ronald Ramon, the three-pointer that extends Pitt's lead to 10. Down low, somehow James finds a way, but he grabbed right at his shoulders, released the ball. He is really hurting. Here's an advanced look at the upcoming games brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance.
Tough schedule there.
You know, talking to Jamie Dixon, he said people were telling us about the tough schedule, part of the schedule we just went through, and he said, I looked ahead, it was worse. He goes to Connecticut next.
And then you see Marquette there. Pitt's got Marquette coming up again, and there's Pittsburgh, Connecticut on Tuesday. I'll be at that game as a fan. Innocent bystander, but
being a former Husky.
Yeah, they said that the people here in Pittsburgh said that could be the first time, if UConn wins today, that they have a chance of beating a #1 ranked team ever. So, and even if UConn was ranked 101, 301, or #1, those matchups with Pittsburgh are always tough. They're always a battle, a grinded out fight. Big East basketball at its best.
Yeah, you never get a night off. Here comes Ronald Ramon down the court as Pitt looks to go to the free throw line. Holding the ball, it's taken away. Coming hard the other way is Jarrell McNeil to Jamil Lott. Slam doesn't go after back of the iron. Long ball, Gray is down there. Over the top goes Lott. And Gray slams it down. The knockout punch indeed there as Pitt now extends again a 10-point advantage. Driving shot at the other end. Our thanks today to our producer Bill Schisler, our director Chris Ohlmeyer, executive producer Mike Moore. As we have 39 seconds left to go at the Peterson Event Center, and the Panthers ready to go to 13 straight wins at home. And 17-1 on the season. Down by 12 in the first half with the Panthers. Now clock is stopped on a foul call. 29 seconds left to go. Al Krauser over here in front of us and exhorting the Oakland Zoo, they call it. University of Pittsburgh, the Oakland section. Big day for Pitt football on Wednesday. For every team, it's the signing day. Dave Wannstedt reported with a tremendous class coming in. Nobody can talk about it officially except the recruiting analyzers. The Panthers got some, you don't have to go much farther to Pennsylvania to find all the football players you'll ever need.
That's right. You know, I had to keep my mouth, watch my tongue a little bit and bite my lip and whatever you want to say. meaning to keep your mouth shut because I'm from Seattle, so I couldn't really say that very loudly. My Seahawks are in the Super Bowl, and as soon as I got to that airport, I saw all the Steelers stuff. I'm like, I better be quiet.
It's unbelievable
for us.
This town is just nuts about the Steelers, always has been.
And you see again, Dominique James, that injury right there, I think said it all. A lot of times in games you wonder what it is, rebounding, turnovers, but there's no doubt in my mind that if this kid stays in the game and doesn't miss about 8-10 minutes, that they don't have a better chance of winning this game.
Ed Armanali tries the three. It doesn't go. Back out to Novak, who's had very limited production today. 6 points for Novak. Over 10 below his season average. And 14 seconds remain on the clock.
Don, I think it's worth mentioning again all our guys in the truck, the great job that they do. Bill Schisler really does an excellent job. He keeps things moving. Those are those unsung heroes that you hear us all the time at home, but those are the guys who really, Bill and his crew really make this thing happen and run smoothly. So thanks to those guys in the truck.
Very much so, and every technician, a lot of them involved. Is right now the ball is going to come inbounds for the final seconds. Novak turns and shoots, the classic catch and shoot, but too little too late. 10.7 seconds left, and the lead is still 7 points for the Panthers.
You know, it's really not all lost because you lose a game. You know, Coach Green is one of the best in the country at getting his guys to learn not only from your wins, but to learn more from your losses. And you really find out a lot about yourselves and what you have to work on. And I think one of the things he's going to have to really address is, you know, your senior Novak. You got to get him to play aggressive. Just because you're playing a team like UConn, you have to keep. It doesn't mean that you just play good against them or play hard against them. Pittsburgh is a team that you have to compare to a UConn, to a Villanova, and you have to wonder about your guys where their heads are when night in and night out in the Big East.
Looking at the scoring, our statistician John Butera totaling the numbers. Graves off the bench leads the Panthers with 17. Bowser has 16. Ramon has 13. Aaron Gray with 13 points and 20 rebounds. Next Saturday, February 4th, Big East basketball from ESPN Plus as the Cincinnati Bearcats travel to Morgantown to take on Mike Gansey and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Cincinnati versus West Virginia Saturday at noon Eastern, 11 Central, only from ESPN Plus.
Boy, if you haven't had a chance to see Mike Gansey, I tell you what, he is something special.
He's a senior for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and Tom Crean said him today. He says he's a first-round talent.
Now he just brings so much to the game with his shooting, with his ability to play defense also.
Versus Villanova Saturday at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, only from ESPN Plus.
You get an opportunity to do these games and you meet the different coaching personality. Tom Crean, one of my favorites. Another guy, Jay Wright at Villanova, really has done a wonderful job with that team in that 3-4 guard offense, and just a special guy, Coach Jay Wright, to be around also.
Yeah, he lost a tremendous player, a guy that John Beilein, the coach of West Virginia, calls the Dream 3, Curtis Sumter. The 3 position, the small forward, which you were pretty good at.
Not too bad, not too bad. My game was more horizontal than vertical, though, back then.
Played with your head?
I was a runner.
Played well. Here in and also on into the pros, and now a timeout is called with just 4 seconds left to play. The Pitt Panthers ready to go to 17-1 overall, to 6-1 in the Big East Conference. Another tremendous win for Jamie Dixon, whose team was in deep trouble a week ago in their first loss to St. John's. They were down 14-0 at the Garden, ended up losing the game. They did take the lead briefly in the second half, but today they were down by 12 in the first half. And you had to think Dixon was thinking bad thoughts at that point about where are we headed.
Yeah, you know, it's great when you talk about coaches like Jamie Dixon and Tom Crean and Jay Wright. You know, obviously Rick Pitino, Jim Calhoun, guys you don't really have to mention. You know what their story's all about and their history. But people talked about before the season the identity of the Big East, and I think a lot of it comes from their coaches.
Here's some more scores in the top 25. Number 12, Michigan State up by 9 on Penn State. Vanderbilt has taken the lead back from number 4 Florida. 3-point lead. North Carolina quietly starting to come on, leading Arizona. Memphis, people talk about that as being a sleeper team. Her leading in Georgetown. They're on their way to the NCAA, where they haven't been in a few years. Under John Thompson III, JT3, he's getting it done in D.C. Jamie Dixon has been getting it done ever since he took over the head job here. His sister Maggie Dixon is the head coach of the West Point women. The final seconds somewhat anticlimactic in this hard-fought battle as Pitt put the game away. Kendall inbounds the ball to Graves. He's quickly fouled. The Golden Eagles fighting every last second of this game with 2.8 seconds left, and Pittsburgh with a 5-point lead. The Panthers go to the free throw line.
Well, Dominique James, you got to give him credit. I mean, he left it all out on the floor tonight, and today you saw the way this game was going. He was a huge part of why this Marquette team was up early, up as many as 12. And again, his injury with 13:20 to go in this game really to me, in my eyes, was the difference.
Yeah, the game changed when he went out. There's no question. But this Marquette team is a team to watch. Hopefully getting back a healthy Dominique James. They will get the other standout freshman guard, Wesley Matthews, back soon. And that is it, though. The Pitt Panthers rally back on their home floor. Down by 7 at the half, they come back to win 77-71.
You got to give a lot of credit to Carl Krauser, Jamie Dixon. Again, they are tough here at home, and a lot of it was due to their fans. Their fans got behind them even when they were down, really pushing this team to help beat this Marquette team.
And a tremendous game by Aaron Gray, big man for the Pitt Panthers, who had 13 points and 20 rebounds. So now it gets the road gets even tougher as Jamie Dixon takes his young men into Connecticut to play the #1 team in the country, UConn.
Well, don't miss that game. That's a primetime game. That's going to be Big East basketball at its best. 2 Big East beasts, UConn and Pitt, Tuesday night.
Now for Donnie Marshall, this is Don Crickey. Glad you could be with us for Big